are back. We've had a bit of a break because of work and stuff, and we're back with a Formula One podcast.
It's good to have the racing back, to be fair. I've missed it.
Yeah, it's good to have the racing back, mate. What a way to come back as well, there, mate.
I'll
You
tell you
know,
what, like we said, like the last couple of Grand Prix have been boring. I don't think we
yeah,
can say that about this one. This one
no,
definitely wasn't boring.
no. This was back with a bang, really was. After the two last races were just like awful, and then you got this, which was, oh, I didn't watch much of qualifying, I'm not going to lie, but the race, it's one of those where every time you sat back, you went, "Oh, this is starting to stale, mate," and then you're like, "Oh, hang on, oh, hang on."
It was intriguing. Like I say, some races like don't grip you. You get nothing from it. You're just watching it for the sake of watching it. But I think this one was, not the whole race, obviously, but there was various key points in there that you look and you go, oh, okay, yeah, well, I'm intrigued in this. Let's actually take some notes. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's I had a great time watching qualifying. We'll get on to qualifying in a bit. There was a few bits where I was looking, going, yeah, some things don't change, and But yeah, I think there's been a couple of surprises this weekend for me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was so happy to see there was a surprise again. I'm so happy that it's not the usual suspects at the top every week. I mean, we've already had a Hulkenberg up there, we've had Bortoletto up there, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and now we've got
Isaac Hadjar.
yeah,
Yeah. Tell you what, we'll get on to him anyway when we do it because I've got
yep,
some bits in my notes through qualifying and through the race that will address that because,
yep.
yeah, very good all weekend. So, like I say,
So,
we'll start with Q1 as we always do.
yep,
Um, Again, I don't think Q1. I started watching it as you know. You don't really settle in. You just sit there because first couple of minutes they're just going out, having a look, warming up the tires, getting ready. And I was like, oh, Hamilton set a 110. Okay, he's leading the pack. I thought, oh, maybe his look's about to change. Done okay. Started off, and then we have the first talking point of the weekend. Lance Stroll. I was
yeah,
sitting there and I was like, oh my god. Bear in mind, he'd already done it in practice. In practice
yep,
3, he'd absolutely smashed the car to pieces. How that team managed to put that car back on the grid for qualifying is beyond me, and credit to them.
yeah,
But I was sitting there and I was like, okay, so Lance Stroll does what Lance Stroll does best and continues where he left off in practice, crashes after taking way too much grass on the entry to the 13th corner. And I'm sitting there going, his team were up to 1 o'clock in the morning putting the car back together for him to have 4.5 minutes in it to do the same. Like, wow, he must be
yeah,
a hated guy. I just can't, like, I just don't get it. I'm just thinking, how? And I mean, like, it's not even like you can go, oh, it's excusable. He's only touched the grass. He took all the wheel was on the grass. It's not even. But it was like he was playing bumper cars, as you know, you've heard me speak about it a few times with him and bumper cars. But he comes off, in through the gravel, hits the barrier, does a quick little 180 in the car, rolls down the hill and goes, I'm just going to carry on like nothing's happened. I'm thinking, how? What's he done?
yeah,
But
yeah.
that was the first
See,
one. That was just mental.
seeing the commentary or before the race, they were saying they wonder if Lance Stroll, because they were saying he's really hard to interview. They said they don't know whether he's doesn't like to be in the car, but he's just there because Daddy said he needs to be there, or whether he's just really hard to work out. Whether he sometimes he can get the car in the right area, sometimes he can't. It said it's like he can have one awful weekend, yet then he'll have a blinder.
Yeah, see, like, again, like, we'll get onto it a bit later on through the race and whatnot. Obviously, he just like he's very inconsistent. That's his problem. If he could find some consistency, he would be a very good driver. But he just can't, and I don't know why that is. Don't know if he's got some mental block that stops him performing the same way week in week out, or whether he just
Mm-hmm.
has a good result and goes, I want to try and better this. I'm going to push a little bit harder, but by pushing harder makes too many mistakes.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just there's Yeah, there's just something at Aston Martin at the moment where they've got two good drivers, but I don't know. They're just one week they can do it, one week they can't do it.
Yeah, it's. But then again, I say we talk about experienced drivers on that same. Was it the same? No, Max Verstappen did exactly the same on the seventh corner. Caught too much of the grass. Car was all over the shop, but Max being Max manages to hold it and carry on. And you go, Jesus Christ, that was a bit of a twitchy bum moment, but he held it
Hmm.
well.
You did
But like
hold it
you
well. That's what annoys me about Max.
say, he just
He's a
gets the rub
really
of the
good
green,
driver,
doesn't
but
he? He just gets the rub of the green, and to be fair, he's a fantastic driver. He's a fantastic driver. But like
yeah,
I say, Q1 was pretty
he's a
boring
great
other than
driver. He's
that.
just very arrogant.
Yeah, Q1 was boring other than that. I mean, Piastri was quickest, which we expected, followed by Norris. Again, the two McLarens are absolutely flying all weekend. Followed by Russell, Verstappen, Lawson. Probably a surprise to be up there, Lawson, to be fair, and Albon and Stroll. Behrman, Ocken and Hulkenberg and Colapinto all out. So, you know, but am I surprised? No, they're the people you'd probably put. To be fair, Behrman recently has started to turn a corner, and I think qualifying, he sort of looked like he'd gone backwards, but I just don't
Yeah,
know whether the track was wet because everyone was sliding on it. No, I mean, through
yeah.
practice on Friday, the amount of people that were spinning out and having crashes was ridiculous. You'd thought they'd put people like me and you in a Formula One car for the first time, not experienced drivers. But I couldn't
Like
believe it.
Mario
I'm sitting
Kart
there
win.
going, yeah, I'm sitting there going, how? How?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What? So, but
yeah. From the bits I saw, all that like literally Sky Sports were just showing you everybody going off constantly. I was like, is this all that happened during the
yeah,
qualifying?
virtually, yeah, literally. It was the practice on Friday was bad. So many spin outs and people. But again, I don't know if that's what practice is for, providing you don't destroy the car like Lance Stroll did. Is it
Yeah,
trying to find them extra couple of attempts a second through corners? But it
yeah.
just didn't seem to work. Just didn't seem to work.
No.
But then, like I say, we move on to Q2, and you've got some decent drivers now. I'm expecting another good one. This is probably the most boring qualifying I've seen. Early pace setter was Max Verstappen. He was going about half a second quicker than his best Q1 time, which I thought, okay, he's upped it a bit. His tyres are warm, brakes are warm, he feels comfortable. And then
Yeah.
Norris was the first driver of the weekend to do a 108 with a 108.874, meaning he held the fastest lap of all time at Zandvoort. I was like, that's impressive.
Wow.
That is
Yeah, that
impressive.
is impressive.
Max then has a moan
Just
because he's on a. Sorry, go on.
yeah, Max does what Max does.
Yeah, well, Max had a moan, didn't he? Because Norris was in the way and he was saying that he was on the racing line and he was, but he wasn't. It's tough. But like
Yeah, it's one of those. If you can go around the racing line, it's not going to cost you any time. Do that.
it's one of those tracks
You know.
though, and I think it was Martin Brundle said that while he says once even though they've done their times, they've set a time, we still don't want to be seeing cars cruising back to the pitch. You still want them to maintain some sort of speed where they don't impact other people. And I get it because a few times in Q1 and practice, you were getting the same thing where people are trying to do stuff and people are in the way, and it's like, right, it's not a great overtaking track to start with, and now you're asking me to overtake in the most stupidest of areas that's going to lose me time because I've got to come off the racing line. So
Yeah.
understand it, but again, like
I
I say,
mean,
Q2, it is what it is.
who was it? They were on board with somebody. They showed you like a lap, and the car stayed straight. It was just a tracker animals doing this, and I was like, "Well, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
really cool."
that technology. I like the fact that they've brought Ghost Rider back as well, so you can see the difference between Piastri and Norris because, like as I said, they both set some amazing times and showing
Yeah.
you how they pulled away or how they were behind and where they gained these extra attempts in the corners, which was brilliant. But like I
Yeah.
say, Q2 obviously Norris topped the charts. I mean, with a 108.874 holding the fastest lap, you'd always expect that. Followed by Piastri, then Verstappen. Hamilton was up there in fourth. I mean, he was ninth in the first lap. So then
Yeah.
Leclerc and Russell. Albon went out. Gasly went out. Surprise for me was Bortoleto went out. That was
Yeah.
that was a bit. Mm.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Yeah,
Sonoda and
Bortoletta's had a
Antonelli.
great qualifying lately.
Yeah, like last couple of races, like I say, again, he's turned that corner. He's showing that I've got what it takes to be considered of that mid-table, even a better seat. I mean, he's been tipped
Yeah.
to go to Red Bull, hasn't he? But he's umming and ahhing whether he should take the seat. Me personally, again, is it too soon for a guy that's only spent a year in the sport? Maybe, but will he ever get a drive like that again? Who knows? It's that risk, isn't it?
If he wasn't second to Max, I'd say yes. Because, they're always going to put Christian Horner said it, they're always going to put all their eggs in one basket. So Bortoletta goes there and he's doing amazing, and he goes there and also it's like, oh, okay. Well, you're qualifying like 14th, 15th. What's going on? And I think we've lost Louis. I think he's gone. So yeah, but we were talking about Q2 there. So we did lose quite a few people in that session. Q1 was actually really interesting from what I've read. Oh, he's back.
Since I don't know what happened there, total just phone had a mare.
So yeah, like I was saying, we got to Q3, where from what I read was quite an interesting qualifying.
Q3 was very good. Probably the best Q3 I've seen in a long time, in a while. So
Yeah,
it started off, obviously, Piastri and Norris were the first two out, trying to set decent times, which I thought, okay, probably didn't need to go out and do it, but okay. So they're going round, and first sectors are literally ridiculously quicker than anybody else on track. There's no splitting them. They've clocked exactly the same time. I'm thinking, oh, okay. Norris was ahead in the second sector, but
yeah.
then Piastri beats him in the third sector. So then Piastri beats his time. And I was like, hang on a minute. Have we just seen the record broken twice in the same stint? Yes, we have. So Piastri then set a 108.662, beating Norris's previous time by 12 milliseconds.
That's not
That's
even.
like,
That's not even. It's not even a quarter of a wing, is it? A quarter of a
no,
wing plate. It's not
it,
even that.
it's 100th of a second. I mean, like, what the hell is 100th of a second?
It's like the beginning of a blink, I think.
Oh, yeah. But like I say, it was one of them. That there set the whole tone for Q3, and I was like, right, okay, like this. But then you've got the McLarens were, like I say, head and shoulders above everyone else all through qualifying. Verstappen, we already know, can put in some quick times. He's good. Halfway through Q3, Verstappen was third, about 4 tenths ahead of, I think, Lewis in fourth. And then the weird bit for me was Lawson. He was fighting the car on the last bit of his first stint out, but it ruined. He was on a good time, to be fair, and fighting the car the way he did, he had to ease off the throttle, cost him quite a bit of time. So his competitive lap was no good. So it didn't set a time. He backed out of it, and then we're going into the final part where the McLarens they just look untouchable. I mean, I don't see anybody taking a pole from them two while they're driving like that. It is ridiculous.
No, mate.
But then, like,
They're very.
they just. I mean, I've got questions which we'll get to in a bit, but so Paul went to Piastri. I'm not surprised with again breaking the record, followed by Norris. Verstappen third. Now, this one was the one that absolutely like wowed me, and that was Isaac Hadjar finishing fourth. I was like, that is an
Banging.
absolutely unreal lap.
Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah. He's
Followed by Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Lawson, Sainz, and Alonso.
These songs being
So,
up there really was. I was really happy with as well.
yeah, like I said, there's a few drivers now that are starting to creep into that top 10 that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be there. So it's nice to see that. I won't say changing of the guards, but at least you've got some different people getting into that top 10, into that last shootout. So, I mean, finishing fourth in it, I mean, ahead of some well-known names there, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Alonso, that's
Yeah,
some drive, that is.
I mean, maybe not the end of last year, but definitely the end of the year before that. You were always guaranteed to see the same teams in the top 10 shootout, always.
Oh yes,
I don't
100%.
happened the last few years, but Haas, Williams, Sauber, Racing Bulls, they've all sort of, I don't know, it's like I was listening to, I think it was Practice One on the radio on the way to work the other day, and they had Abby Pulling on,
Yeah,
and she said, like, the best, obviously the McLarens have won it. There's no catching them. Red Bull are going to
that
finish second. Then you got
that's scary.
Mercedes.
It's scary
But
to
then,
say that, really, and that they've won it already. Yet there's still 9 races left of the season.
yeah. And the problem they were saying then, right, once you get past like Ferrari and Mercedes, you've got 4 teams all vying for that one place. Whereas like it used to be a case of we'd have 2 and then 1 back marker or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think
but
they were
like you
saying
say,
the other day.
it's good for
Go
the
on.
sport.
Yeah,
It's good
it
for
is
the
good.
sport that we've got 4 or 5 teams competing rather than 2.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm so I'm going to get on to Isaac Hadjar later, but it's going to be one of those moments. And when the race finished, it was one of those moments where I really smiled. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
probably the happiest I've felt in Formula One since Nico got third as well in the
again,
British
like I
Grand Prix."
say, yeah, these are the things that change how drivers view themselves. Do you know what I mean? He's probably his dream's always to stand on a podium. Let's be honest. You ain't taking part in a sport not to be on that podium. Everybody wants a first at some point. Some drivers never get it, but just to be on that podium is a big thing. So I'm hoping now it gives him a bit more belief and a bit more confidence to know that he can do it, and hopefully we see it a few more times.
Yeah, I think he will. Out of
I
all the
hope so.
rookies this year, I didn't, honest to God, after Australia, I thought it wouldn't be him. I thought it'd be
Yeah.
Ollie or Bortoleto. I thought them 2 would be the 2 that were on there, but I don't know.
But again, them
After
younger
Australia,
drivers now should be looking at that going, well, if he can do it, what's stopping me?
yeah. Yeah, set a good qualifying, get yourself into good position. I mean, we'll get to the race in a minute. I mean, I got so many things from the race. It's amazing. It's the first time I've actually looked at a race and wrote loads down
Yeah.
because so much happened. So much happened.
So, like you say, we'll get onto that in a second. Just to finish off on this bit, the fastest sector
Mhm.
times of Q3. So, sector 1, as we said, was Piastri, set a 23.367. Sector 2 was Norris with a 24.394. And then sector 3 was Norris with a 20.81. And you sort of look and you go, they are some impressive times.
Oh, very impressive. And yet he didn't qualify on pole.
It's balmy, innit? So, as
Yeah.
you know, I like to ask questions to the listeners, the viewers, and to yourself. First question I have is: after all the praise we've given Lance Stroll the last 2 Grand Prix, has he undone it all? Yeah, listen, has he undone it all with his awful showing in practice and qualifying? Is it a lack of respect thing for the sport, or is he just that bad of a driver?
So I can't give you the answer I was going to give you earlier.
But
um,
I'm starting to question what it is with him because, like we said earlier, if he could find some consistency, these questions wouldn't be asked. Now, obviously, the way he just uses cars as bumper cars, as I like to call him, because that's what it reminds me of. Like,
yeah.
why does he? What goes through his head is what I'd love to sit down for 1-to-1 with him and just ask him this question, like, because I don't understand it. You've got a platform, you can clearly drive, but yet at times through the season, qualifying, practicing Grand Prix, you decide to take the route that you can't drive.
Yeah. He's a frustrating character. He really is. Um, I'm not sure. I personally think my answer to that question would be is Lance Stroll's had some great races because the field around him and the race itself haven't been fantastic. But when
Potentially,
it
yeah.
gets fantastic, when he gets better and the drivers around him get better, I don't know whether he panics and goes, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" I don't know.
Maybe.
I think that would be my answer, mate. I think it's just because the last two races where he performed really well, the race was poor.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
probably
I'll
right
be
there.
really looking at everybody else's theory on that.
Yeah, it'd be, like I
You
say,
know,
it'd be like, interesting to get your guys' feedback on obviously the question I've just asked because I, I'm stuck to even
yeah.
find an answer for that question because, like you said, he can drive. He's shown he can drive. He can show he's got some great ability, but yet keeps having these. I can't even call them unfortunate anymore because it's almost like it happens too frequently to be unfortunate. So
Yeah. To me, I mean, I've been following Formula One for a very long time. For me, Lance Stroll's best season was when he was at Williams,
yeah,
and he hadn't got his dad over him. So is that another factor that his dad's putting pressure on him?
again, it could be he's trying to impress his dad way too much. I really don't know. Like I said, it's a question that I'd love some feedback on from the listeners because it's
Yeah. I'll be well happy to hear people's theories on that. Whether they would just
yeah.
look at me going, "Whatever, Glenn, shut up."
Or even does Lou even know what he's talking about? You never know, do you? So,
No,
but then my next question of three. So my second one was, where did Hadjar manage to find that qualifying lap from? Because it showed nothing all weekend to say that he was going to challenge that high up the table. So to find that lap from somewhere was absolutely, like I say, it was incredible.
so usually you can say like a driver like Hadjar, and I don't mean no disrespect to him or any of the rookies around him or any of the teams around him. When I say this, they get to Q3 for luck because I don't know you lose a Hamilton in Q1 or a Hamilton in Q2 or you lose a Leclerc, a George Russell, a Kimi Antonelli. I think from Q1 to Q2 he was luck. From Q2 to Q3 he put the car where it needed to be, and then when we come to Q3 he went, "What have I got to lose? What's the worst? I can finish 10th."
I don't even
And
think
I
it was
think,
lucky, because in Q3 he qualified 12th. Sorry, Q1
mm,
qualified 12th, and in Q2
okay.
he was 8th. So it's not even close. It's weird.
So
He had
if
literally
that's the
a great qualifying session.
if that's the case, then mate, what he's done is he's found out where he's losing time. Whoever's on the other end of his speakers going, right, Isaac, you're losing time here. Do this corner, do that corner. Then he gets to the eight. Oh, right, okay. If you find another corner here, do that. Boom. And he's in Q4, Q2, Q4.
Maybe we should do a Q4 for the top five issues. Something to look at.
Can you imagine that? Max would be like, I'm fifth. What's going on?
Yeah. But no, and then my final question, which I've changed, it's not a question, it's a statement. I did put, can anyone challenge the McLarens? I'm changing that statement to nobody can challenge the McLarens. They just, everything about, again, I don't know we've had this conversation before. Is it the car? Is it literally the car is that much better than any other car on the grid that they don't need drivers to be that good? Or is it the drivers that are that good and they're better than the rest? And I think for me, when I look at that question, I don't think they're necessarily the best two drivers on the grid. And I don't think it's the best car on the grid. I just think the two combined makes it work.
Yeah, for me, to answer like your statement there is, you remember when Lando first come in, he had Danny Ricciardo as his partner, right?
Yes.
And the McLaren was absolutely dog awful. It really was. But that was when Zach Brown first come in and went, we are prepping for a few years' time.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously Mercedes and Red Bull were running away. Ferrari were thereabouts, but they weren't. And then all of a sudden, McLaren went, right, release. But they released just as Red Bull were getting worse. Ferrari were falling off the place, and McLaren were, not McLaren, Mercedes were also slipping down. So I think, yes, the McLarens are good. I don't think they're great. But I think because the other three have all started to slip off, I think yes, they. I don't know who can challenge them next year, but it won't happen this year.
It's like I said, that everything like we know the car's been taking a few years to develop and get to where they want it to, and I feel that McLaren have got the car to a state now that is far beyond anything else on the grid with them, and that's
Yeah,
credit to their team. Um, I just don't. I don't know. They've got the same two drivers next year. are we going to be in for another boring season where you see two drivers finish 300 points clear of every other driver on the grid?
I hope not. I like
No, normal.
McLaren. I like the McLaren, but with what happened in the race, I was quite good. Not just because of what happened to Lando, but it's widened the gap now with 9 races left.
Yeah.
With that many points, we thought with Max last year and Lando clawed it back, but there just wasn't enough races.
Yeah.
And I think
like
it's
I
about roughly.
I'm glad it's happened now.
It's roughly it's about the same a gap.
Yeah, I'm glad it's happened now though, and not later on when it does matter, because
Yeah.
it still matters now. But to be 34, 35 points behind with 9 races isn't that bad. If you're
No.
that close and you have a DNF 3 races to go, that's detrimental. That
Yeah.
virtually ruins your chances. So I believe it'll be a good tussle down the straight with them two for the last 9 races, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the other problem there though is mate. I mean, both like Formula One. You don't want to get to the situation where you've got the Ayrton Senna and situation in Japan.
Yeah.
Was it Senna Prost? Was it Senna and Prost where they
Senna
hit each
and
other?
Prost. Yeah, took each other
You
out,
don't
didn't they?
want to get to that situation where they go bum bum and it's like, oh great, thanks for that.
Yeah. But like I say, it'll be interesting these last 9 races now. I believe the gap at the end of the season between them two and everyone else will be 200 plus points, because they're flying. They are absolutely flying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the championships between them, the drivers' championship, and like Abby Pullin said, it's theirs. It's gone. Who's the closest? What, Red Bull?
do you know what's weird though? It'll be the first time that a constructor's title could have been won before halfway point of the season, because they're that far clear. It's impossible not to win it.
I just think it's consistency as well, mate. When you think about it, I mean, look at Red Bull. Yes, this weekend Yuki got some points, but it's the first time he scored
Oh.
points in a Red Bull.
Well,
Kimi Antonelli, George Russell. It's always George Russell.
that stat, Tsunoda, first time picking up points, has half the points that Liam Lawson does, and yet they got rid of him.
Yeah, that's why you never pull the trigger.
It's weird.
Nah,
It
that's
is
why you
weird.
never pull the trigger this time. You give them till the summer break. If they haven't improved by the summer break, then at the most you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm very surprised Yuki's still in the seat during the summer. I expected it to be somebody else.
Well, yeah, you know, I think it's one of them now, doing it. I think a lot of them, they're just going to see the season out. They already know where they're going to finish, sort of, and now they're looking forward to next year. So, I mean, most drivers are confirmed. I think the racing balls have not confirmed any drivers yet for next season.
No.
And as I said to you, I was right with the 2 Cadillac drivers.
You were right with the Cadillac drivers, mate.
Yeah.
That is a good lineup. I'm not going to lie.
It is, and it's a very good
Maybe I
lineup.
would have taken Ricardo, but
There's still space for him on seats yet. There's still time.
yeah, I know. I
Feel
mean,
like a transfer deadline. Say that again, sorry.
Yeah, we'll have to do a podcast on the transfer deadline, mate. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Audi announced both drivers yet, because I know Hulkenberg's been announced, but I'm not sure about the other one.
No, the other seat is still vacant at the moment. So yeah. Looking forward to seeing them on the grid then.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. That car does look sexy though.
It does. I think I sent it to you. Then and I was like, I'm like, I love my Audis, and I seen that and I was like, oh wow, yes, do like that. So
I hate to say this, when Homer Simpson sees a donut and starts rolling, he goes, oh, that was me
yeah.
when I saw the Audi.
Yeah. And what's weird is, like I say, they are the only car on the grid that are backed by their own engine. Nobody else has the Audi powered engine next year, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It just depends on how that engine's going to perform.
Who's Cadillac got in their engine next year? Is it McLaren? Is it the Mercedes?
No,
again?
I think the Cadillac have got Ferrari. I think Cadillac. I think Cadillac have got a Ferrari powered engine, which is very weird.
Yeah, because Ferrari's engine's not exactly. Well, we'll get into that in the race anyway.
Yes. So yes, guys, that was qualifying of the Dutch Grand
Yep.
Prix. We will
Yep.
be back very shortly with the actual race and lots of talking points. So yeah, we will see you all shortly.
See you soon.